This will be perfect because we have Michelle and George who can role play and practice together. This is going to be fun. Oh, I hope more people show up, or if anything, I hope that they actually hit record once they receive it. Okay, so who wants to be the buyer and who wants to be the agent? George, I'll let you decide. What do you want to be?
I'll be the buyer.
Okay. Michelle, do you want to give it a whirl? You guys do this?
Agent. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to do the first one, right? The agent.
Yeah,
Okay.
receive a lead from either the phone or text or an email. Okay.
Okay, so I'm reading off of this.
You're what?
I'm reading off of this, right? The
Yeah, yeah,
script.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be clunky at first, but that's okay. So go ahead.
ring, 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 and then
George, answer. Hello.
This is the agent. No?
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm ring, ring, ring. You say hello, and then you say hello.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, this is Michelle Vargas with the Expedia. I received your online request to view this property today. I am happy to set those showing appointments up for us. Before I can show you the home, I'll provide you with valuable information about the property and the home buying process. I can go over that process with you now, or even more helpful for you, we can move this call to a Zoom meeting in person. What's your preference?
Uh, I really just want to see the property first.
Yes, let's definitely set an appointment to tour that property. Would Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4 work best for that?
Let's see. Tuesday at 3 will work to go see the home, and I guess we can meet if we have to. Zoom will work.
I think it says, great. I'll work with the sellers to get that set up. Now, before that viewing, it's now required that we have a buyer service agreement in place prior to entering the listed property. It's easiest if we go over everything now or sometime before the appointment via Zoom at a nearby coffee shop to review and complete. It shouldn't take long. As soon as we're done, we can head onto the property. Oh, I guess that's where you answer Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday at 3 will work.
Go ahead and read that.
Okay, Tuesday at 3 will work to see the home, and I guess we can meet if we have to. Zoom will work.
Okay, great. I will set up a Zoom meeting at 2 o'clock and share the link to join the meeting to your email address. Does that work for you?
Yep, that'll work. Thanks.
Totally. My pleasure. And I look forward to meeting with you. I'll see you at 2.
All right, sounds good. See you then.
Did
And
that
see.
feel weird and awkward or not bad because you were actually reading it?
How was that? Well, because I was reading it. Yeah, that's the first time I'd seen it. But yeah, that's good because we want to know because then we have to throw in this buyer and have you used it already, George?
I have not. I've been giving a caveat on it. Um,
Oh, like how? What have you been saying?
so recently I've been getting a lot of the Opcity leads through like EXP.
Okay, good. That's
They're
great.
for like mobiles. So I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Like I'll say, because sometimes they'll ask,
Mhm.
what's up with this new lawsuit? And I
Yeah.
said, so there's changes to the way that, commissions are disclosed and they're not required. They've always been negotiable. So, as always, we can look at all the homes that you would like, but there's a potential that not all homes will compensate for the buyer's agents. So in that case, we would make an agreement and try to, stay, what's the word I use? Uh, I don't say concrete. I forget what I told them today. Formalize.
Hmm.
Formalize our agreement just to make sure I'm looking out for all the best homes I can find for you, and then you're doing the same as we go through the process. But, there's a potential that they will not be covering buyer um, concessions. But for the most part, right now, everything's still being covered for the most part. But if anyone is not, I will definitely let you know.
And do they
And-
seem okay with that or?
They've usually been okay, and they're like, okay, well then how much is that? And I'm like, well, it depends on the price of the property, and you know, it's usually around this percentage is what it is now. Typically, sellers pay for that now. Um, but we can establish either, per house or, per listing if you like one. We can set a number off the bat, or we can just go buy the property.
Okay.
So
And-
it's funny, I saw something that Christina sent me a very long time ago, the Ninja Coaching.
Mhm.
And I was going over today because I have a possible listing on on Sunday, and I want to prepare because it's going to be a sell buy, and that's going to be a first for me because I've not been in a sell buy situation.
Fun.
Um,
Okay.
but it's funny because it has a buyer broker agreement that you require what someone said in Ninja Coaching, and if it's okay if I read it, just to
Good.
because I think this is a good one.
Mhm.
So now it's time to explain the buyer broker agreement that you require to your client, right? So this agreement is our agreement that you are working exclusively with me as your buyer's agent. It's kind of like the agreement you have with the company you work for. You show up for work, you do your job, you get paid for that work. In the same way, I'm committed to finding you your next home. I will get compensated for doing this. In most cases, this compensation is paid by the seller of the home you choose, but in the event that it is not, you are agreeing that you will make sure that I am compensated for the completion of your transaction.
Simple, easy breezy. I
That's
love
what I thought. I love that.
I like that one. Yeah.
it. Takes out all the unknown, all
Yeah,
the
not the
lack of,
long.
yeah, that's perfect. Short to the point. And I do like giving them the option, saying that that's how it works now. And, if you are agreeable, I will definitely try and obtain that fee from the seller at the close of escrow. But if that's not the case, and not even just at the close of escrow, that you're going to structure it into the loan, if it's into the offer, if the client is agreeable to that, because they actually have to agree to you doing that. You can't just automatically put it in the purchase offer. You have to get their okay on that. But that's
Okay.
great.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so agent has buyer representation with a digital person.
That's a good one. I'm glad you pulled that one out.
Yeah, I was looking at that today and I was like, I'm glad I found that. I was like, oh, I have all these papers.
I know they kind of get lost in the shuffle, all of the
Yeah.
different types. Okay, why don't you guys go down to number 2,
Mhm.
the buyer
Okay.
presentation. Okay, so George, let's pretend you're giving the presentation to Michelle. Michelle's the buyer in this instance, and you're giving her the presentation.
Okay. Let's see. Number 2. Okay.
So this is when we're meeting after we've discussed on the phone. Okay.
Okay. Hi there. Thanks for meeting with me today. I understand you're in the early stages of looking for a new home. It's an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming without the right support. And that's where an experienced professional like myself comes in.
Yes, we're excited, but a bit unsure about the process. We've also been thinking about whether we really need a buyer's agent, especially considering the costs.
Yep, that's a completely valid concern to have, and I'm glad you brought it up. So let me explain how having a buyer's agent can actually save you time, money, and stress in the long run. So first and foremost, as a real estate professional, my primary goal is to represent your best interest throughout the entire home buying process.
How exactly do you do that?
Well, for starters, I provide you with a comprehensive market analysis to ensure you're making an informed decision. This includes understanding, the fair market value so you don't overpay for your new home. I also have access to the listings before they hit the market, giving you an edge against other buyers. In today's market, having a dedicated professional by your side makes quite a difference. And here's some of the things that I can bring to the table. So in terms of the market, I have the latest information on market trends, pricing, and inventory. So this makes sure that you don't overpay and helps us strategize effectively. In terms of access to off-market listings, some properties sell before they're even advertised to the public. So I can give you access to these exclusive listings to make sure you have the best options available. And we have our own office exclusive platform called eXp Exclusives with thousands of listings that only clients of eXp will have access to. Aside from that, on the negotiating front, when it's time to make an offer, my negotiation skills can save you thousands and secure the best terms. And lastly, in terms of time, I handle the legwork of property searches, scheduling viewings and paperwork so you can focus on what matters most. And for a complete review of all the services that I offer, you can use this. I had brought along this sheet, that you can look at all the services that I provide aside from these. But these are the big ones that can definitely save you time and money in the long run.
Okay, but tell me more about the costs. How and when is payment due?
Oh, sorry, I think I missed one.
It's okay.
So I personally work on a commission basis that's only payable once we successfully find and close on your new home.
I think you're reading something different than I am. Sorry. Because it said it says investing in real, so as my fee is paid at closing. That's what I say after that. See where it says back from the comprehensive?
Oh, I think I skipped that one before your line.
Okay,
Go ahead and say it then, George. It's fine.
Okay. So I personally work on a commission basis that's only payable once we successfully find and close on your new home. And at the end of the day, I'm motivated to find you the perfect home at the best price.
okay, and that's when I say, okay, but tell me more about the cost and how and when is my payment due? Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah. So my fee is paid at closing, and it's based on the type of buyer service agreement that we decide on. So the agreement will include the fee amount for my services, and then once we find a property that you want to buy, I'll negotiate with the seller prior to the offer to cover as much as my fee as possible, so there's less out of pocket from you, if anything at all.
Got it. So what makes you different from other agents? Why should I use you?
Great question. So my commitment to you goes beyond just finding a home. So it includes negotiating the best price and terms on your behalf, coordinating property inspections, and managing all the paperwork. On top of that, I also have a network of professionals from lenders, brokers, inspectors, to ensure every aspect of your purchase is handled with care. And our numbers speak for ourselves. Graphic showing their agent team's numbers to sell. Okay, so you provide some type of data source. So we're the #1 agent in the county, just for the role play's sake. And then my company also has an exclusive listing platform called eXp Exclusives that is only visible to eXp clients. So as my client, you'd have access to any all off-market eXp listings, which are not visible to the public or any other agents that are not with eXp. So you'll have first crack at viewing and putting an offer on any of these properties. And I can show you a few of them here on the app that you can take a look at that we have here locally. And I know this is a lot of information I'm giving you right now, but this graphic might help just picture everything a little bit more so you can have reference throughout the process.
And then
Yeah.
there's a clickable link to that.
Okay, that's what that one is. And then lastly, I'll listen to you and take the time to understand your unique needs and preferences, which means I can tailor my search and advice to find the perfect home for you. It's not just about closing a deal, but it's really about building a relationship and ensuring that you're happy 5 to 10 years down the road with the purchase of your new home.
It sounds like having you on our side could really make a difference. We definitely want someone looking out for us.
Absolutely. So that's exactly what I'm here for. Um, I'll guide you through every step, ensuring that everything is as smooth and stress-free as possible. Plus, I'll be available to answer any questions you have along the way, big or small. How does that sound?
It sounds like what we need. We're in.
Awesome. So I'm excited to work with you, and let's find your dream home. First, I'll review how I will help you have the best home buying experience. So it's again like the toolkit list. Yeah, having a sheet would be handy. Then we can complete the buyer service agreement, and then we'll begin discussing your home buying criteria in more detail. We'll create a tailored search strategy to find you the perfect home.
Oh, so that's when you bring in the broker.
State mandatory disclosures. Okay.
Mhm. And then review the fee that you expect to receive. So, and again, that's going to be different for every property, whether you use a percentage or a flat fee, just know your numbers.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That was good. That was good. And then let's keep moving on. Let's go with number 3.
So you want me to be the agent?
Sure.
Okay. The potential buyer's hesitant to sign the broker agreement. Okay. Oh, so it's like it's starting over. I don't think so.
It's okay.
Is it the same one?
I
Okay.
think yeah, they're just giving a different scenarios.
Okay. Ring ring. Hello. Hello,
Hello?
this is Michelle Vargas with EXP, and I received your online request to view this property today. I am happy to set those showing appointments up for us. Before I can show you the home, though, I'll provide you with a valuable information about the property and the home buying process. I can go over that process with you now, or even more helpful for you, we can move this call to a Zoom meeting in person. What's your preference?
No thanks. I just want to go view one home or perhaps a couple homes.
Okay, yes, I completely understand. I'm looking forward to showing you that property. One thing that may be different from the past home searches for you is that all agents are now required to have a buyer service agreement, BSA, in place with buyers before we can open the door to a listed property. That document will let you know what my fee is for my services should you decide to put an offer on the house we see today. I can go over that process with you now, or even more helpful for you, we can move this call to a Zoom or meet in person. What is your preference?
I'm not ready to sign any commitments just yet.
I get that. We can meet today to see that property. In order to show your property, we do need to establish a base level how we work together through our buyer service agreement. And we can do that for just this one property. After that, if you and I decide we would like to continue working together, we can expand this agreement from there. But for today, we can sign an agreement for this property. Would today at 4 o'clock or tomorrow at 3 work best for you?
Okay, I think I'd be good with that. Today at 4 works.
Great. There's a cafe right around the corner. We can meet at to review the information and then head over to the property.
Okay, perfect. Yes, that works.
Great. While I have you, do you have any other properties in mind you'd like to see while we're out? Or would you mind if I search for similar homes for you? I'd be happy to maximize our time together so you get sense of your options. What's drawing you to this location in particular?
This one primarily is the price.
Okay, great. And what particular interests you about this property? Was it specific features, close to work, or
Well, I need to have at least 3 bedrooms.
okay, thank you. Are there any other features of your next home that are must have or that are deal breakers for you? And how long have you been looking for your future home?
I just started looking.
Okay, and is this anything driving your timeline other than just wanting a great home?
The mortgage rates, I want them to go down before I buy.
I totally understand that. I have relations. I have relationships with many mortgage brokers who are masters in understanding different types of lending programs and how to get my clients the best rate possible.
That would be helpful.
My pleasure. Okay, I will put together a list of other similar properties in the area that we can review when we meet and decide if you would also like to see those. I'm really looking forward to meeting you with you today. See you at 4.
All right, sounds good. See you then.
Okay.
Good job.
These are really good
They're-
buyer responses. They're very true.
No, they are.
They're good though, because they're pretty in-depth, but they also give you maybe a little bit of articulation that you maybe would not normally think of, but you can also put it in your own words, you know?
Yeah, because some are lengthy, and sometimes people are like, I don't want to sit here this long. It just depends what type of person you're talking to.
Exactly. And then, but once you kind of get the gist down and memorize like the bullet points, or even if you just pull out what the bullet points are and put them down on a different piece of paper so you can remember to touch on at least that point, then that'll be helpful. Even if you are, and you know what I find, I mean, you really want to try and memorize your bullet point more than anything. Can you hear that?
Hmm.
That's our dog. Okay.
Oh, is he chewing something?
No, she she really wants to attack the cat.
Mhm.
Attack the cat. Wow, sorry. Animal loving. Okay, I forgot what my point was. Let's have, bullet points. Yeah, just pull
Yeah.
out what you need to and make your own bullet points out of this. Okay, but let's have you guys go down to the fourth one. Okay, so now George is the agent again.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so now I'm talking first because I'm the buyer, right?
Um, oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Agencies leave from phone, buyers hesitant to meet in person. I don't feel comfortable signing anything right now. I'd like to talk it over with my significant other, and
Yeah.
get their opinion.
I completely understand. You only need to sign that document before you tour property in the MLS. In order to help make you the most informed decision, I would like to share some information with you and anyone you'd like about that form and the home buying process as well, and answer any questions you have. Happy to set up a meeting or call via Zoom with you and your significant other if that would make you feel better as a significant other myself. I absolutely understand that they would want to get their opinion and why you would want it as well. Would Tuesday at 3 p.m. or Wednesday at 4 work better for you?
Tuesday at 3 is best, but it will have to be a Zoom.
Great. I'll set up a Zoom meeting at 3 and share the link to join the meeting to your email address. Does that work for you?
Yes, that will work. My email is mickeymouse.com. Thanks.
Totally, my pleasure, and I look forward to meeting with you. See you at 3.
See you then.
Good, good. Okay, let's keep moving down. Next one.
Okay.
Agent versus lead
Let's
from
have you guys
phone. You want me to be the buyer,
Mhm.
or how you want me to be the agent?
Sure. Let's see. So this one does not convert into an in-person meeting. Okay. So I'm not ready yet to work with anyone.
I completely understand. When you are ready, I'm looking forward to helping you have the best home search experience and finding the best home for your needs. In the meantime, I would like to share valuable information about the current market, the home search process, and how I will help you find your next home. Also, I will set you up on my preferred client listing search so that you will have instant access to properties online that match your needs the moment they hit the market. What's the email address for you?
Okay. That sounds good. My email is mickey@mickeymouse.com.
Perfect. I will get that set up for you. And to make sure we're not wasting your time looking at the wrong properties, could I quickly ask about your needs in a home?
I preferably 3-bedroom, 2 baths on at least fourth and acre lot.
Thank you so much. You will begin to receive property matches through those needs shortly. To make sure the properties you're seeing are right for you, I will follow up with you and we can adjust the home search options if we need to. It's been so nice talking to you, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
I like that. So it's like, at least put them on a search.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know I do that a lot because I'll get that. I'm not ready to work with anybody yet. Well, I say, hey, look, I could put you on a email alerts in the specific areas you're looking for, just so you can see what's coming up. But, and then I go into you should be pre-approved before you start the home buying process. So at least I can, get an accurate number of what you're looking for. That way I send you properties with those price points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give anybody false hope. And they see their dream home and they can't afford it.
You guys did great. Okay, so what I want you guys to do next week is, hopefully you both are on next week. I want you guys to download or save to PDF on your computer. You don't have to waste ink and print it out if you don't want to, but just have it somewhere accessible to where you can share. If you add anything to it, great. If you just want to use the templated one that EXP provided, use that. But we will do a very real mock kind of presentation with each other. That way you guys both get a chance to be the agent, both get a chance to be the buyer and throw some questions out there. We want to get you guys more comfortable with talking about questions that are either scripted or kind of random questions just to see how you respond. Because as we know, you can learn the script forwards and backwards, but there's always going to be that one seller or that one buyer, that one question that's like, that wasn't on the script. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, right. Hold on. Go back to page.
Wait, that's not in my notes. Yeah, I want you guys to get all your tweaks out, all the little crinkles and wrinkles out of your presentations here versus with an actual client.
Well, I have a question with that then. I mean, I know we're gonna do that next week, but for just
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick,
you have your-
I'm thinking like me going in on Sunday.
Yeah.
So the people that I have a possible listing with, they want to buy here in the same town.
Okay.
And I making them sign the BRBC
I would.
uh, as well on Sunday.
Yeah, I would. Okay, wait. So yes, I would. Have they bought and sold homes before? Do you know that
They
much
own
about
their
them?
home. They own their home right now.
Is it
And
their first home? Is it their first
that
sale?
I don't know.
Okay,
That
so
I'm not
I want
sure.
to find that out because if they've bought and sold before, they know that there's a process, right? They're going to
Mhm.
have some familiarity if they have done that before. You can enlighten them that the process has changed, right? If they have experience. If they don't have experience, then this is just have the process of when we sell, we do ABC. And when we now then on the other side of things, once we get your house sold, this is what it's going to look like. Or concurrently, while we have your house listed, we're also going to be looking at properties to purchase. And before we can even go, before I can open a door for you to take a look at, I need you to sign this document here. Here's the representation. This is how this part of it works. So you will be doing, I feel like listing presentations used to take about an hour.
Hour and a half.
Well, like an hour or so. You're really probably, if you can practice, maybe you can squeeze it down to an hour. Otherwise, I think it is going to move into like an hour and a half. So at least let them know that ahead of time. So let them know, it's going to be a solid hour to maybe an hour and a half. I'm really trying not to push it past 2 hours because that's a long time to be at somebody's place. And just let them know the only reason why it's going to be a little bit lengthier is because we're going to talk about both the selling process and also we'll touch on the buying process. You'll say touch on, so if you need to cut that part short, that's okay because really the most important part is to do the selling side of it. Now, if they say, well, we only have an hour, then you can say, okay, that's fine. And then just focus on the listing side of things and just make an appointment while you're there, like you do at the dentist's office before you leave for the buy side. We do need to have a conversation about the buying aspect and the procedure and the process that is entailed with it. So
Okay.
what works tomorrow or the next day, or, during the week, evenings, mornings, or whatever, however you make sure you have your calendar with you and have that booked before you. And even if they say, well, we're not sure, we have to check on this. Okay, well, let's just pencil it in. We can always change the date, but let's get something in the books. I want to make sure that it doesn't fall off the calendar, because you want to get them to stick to an appointment.
You're right. So I can actually, because we were going to touch base a little bit on the listing contract.
Okay.
When we talked last time with Michelle, that we were going to kind of throw up a listing contract up and kind of go over it a little bit. I know we can't right now. We only have 4 minutes left, but is it best to go?
Why don't you and I, since you have that happening before the weekend, let's you and I just do a recording of one anyways.
Okay.
We could do it separate and then,
Okay.
but I'll still push it out to everybody if you don't mind. We
Yeah,
can-
no, that's fine. Yeah, yeah. And I think it'd be helpful. I'm sure George, they're all gonna get in a situation eventually and
a
it's
listing.
over, it's an over, even if you've done a few, it's still overwhelming. Each one you go to, you're like, oh my God, am I gonna do this? Or I don't even know if they're interviewing you. I have to ask those questions. I pulled out my Tom Ferry thing just to look and see.
Oh, good. Right.
Questions to make sure I ask the right things prior to coming to see you.
Right. And and I'm so glad that you even pulled out the Ninja book, because like you just mentioned Ninja, you mentioned Tom Ferry, any and all of the resources that you have for listing presentations, or even the buyer. Now it's new. We're going to start seeing more buyer stuff out there. Even if you start Googling or going to YouTube, you're going to see people's take on the buyer presentation and what to say to a buyer, when you're representing them. You're going to see all of that. And that's good. So it's like when you go to the grocery store, right? There's all these different types of the same thing, but they're different brands. Some have this, some have that. You're going to take what you like from any given entity and then use what works with you. You like a little bit of Tom Ferry and a little bit of Ninja and a little bit of, whatever else, use it. If it feels right and it's easy for you to explain or express it, use it. And then you're going to put your own spin on it anyways. You're going to get into a groove, and you'll have a rhythm of what works best for you. So that's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with everything changing in the new verbiage, we all may do our listing presentations different.
A little bit differently.
Explain it a little bit different, but we should know the correct way, especially now that there's a lawsuit out there. We want to make sure, we're doing it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what's great is you can always use because you might have some clients, sellers or buyers, saying, well, I thought this doesn't take effect until July. That's correct. However, our brokerage is wanting to take this on sooner rather than later. We're being proactive about everything. And so we are implementing as a company, as a brokerage, getting these forms signed. We want to be ahead of the curve and be for the consumer and be completely transparent ahead of time. That takes out any uneasiness, hopefully it does. And then if they still have concerns or they're not sure, always go back to them, ask them, well, what is your concern surrounding blah, 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 whatever it is. Tell me more about that concern. If it's your percentage that you're asking them on the listing side, well, let's talk about that. What do you want to walk away with? What do you need? And then of course you're going to ask ahead of that, how many loans do they have on the property? What do they owe? What's the motivation? All of that is going to be factored into that conversation when it comes down to the commission. It may be a big unveil, or you might just get to the point at the top of the conversation. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid. This is what I charge and this is how I work. And here's why. And, do you have any questions? Okay, well, let's talk about that more. Tell me more about the concerns surrounding the percentage or the fee or et cetera. That kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. George, any final questions?
No, this was helpful because some of these are really some answers that we'll definitely get.
Okay, so you guys practice, record yourselves, and let's try this again next week. and get your presentations together too. And let me know if you have any questions about any of it.
Okay, that's good.
Hey,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you both. Bye. Good night.